I'm back. All right, this week we're going to be talking about supply, as in supply and demand, the supply side. Here's our supply curve. Oh my gosh, that already looks so different. Plus, I want cookies. Supply. The quantity of goods a business is willing and able to sell at various prices. The law of supply. You're going to see a bit of a difference. As prices increase, the quantity supplied will increase. As prices decrease, the quantity supplied will decrease. Whoa. Whoa. What in the world? I want you to think of supply up. Supply up. It slopes up. Whoop. So if here's my supply schedule, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So as you see, the quantity supplied goes up as the price goes up. Why? There's our graph. So $10, the quantity supplied is 5. Price changes. You see, moves from A to B. So that means the quantity supplied is going to decrease to 4. So what you saw along the curve is that a price change means that there's movement along the supply curve. A price change means there will be a change in quantity supplied. How come? Well, the more something is worth, the more money I can make from it. So if I'm a business, I want to be able to charge the most I can get people to pay for. So as price goes up, so will quantity supplied. But if people aren't willing to pay a lot for a good, then I'm not going to supply very much because I won't make very much money. Shifts in supply. Get it? Like the shift in it? Okay. All right. So changes in quantity supplied. Change in price can cause a change in the quantity supplied. Illustrated by moving from one point to another on the supply curve. So again, you're not shifting this curve, you're just moving along the curve. However, increase in supply, meaning businesses are willing and able to sell more of a good at every price level, means a shift. Decrease in supply, businesses are willing and able to sell less of a good at every price level. This is illustrated by shifting the entire supply curve. So you see we have S1. An increase in supply shifts the curve to the right. See, S2. Decrease in supply is going to shift the curve to the left. Fascinating. Why supply shifts? The determinants of supply. Technology and productivity. Costs of inputs, factors of production. Number of sellers. Producer expectations. Government. Price of related goods. Weather and natural disaster. So let's look at technology and productivity. If you have an improvement in the production of goods and services, if you can make goods and services more cheaply, this leads to more productivity and efficiency, like the Model T. Cost of inputs, factors of production. If cost of a factor of production increases, supply will decrease. That means it's more expensive to produce a good. If cost of factor of production decreases, supply will increase because it's less expensive to make a good. Number of sellers increase, and the number of businesses in the market will increase the supply of goods. So if I had one McDonald's and now I have 3 McDonald's, I will have so much more McDonald's. A decrease in the number of businesses in the market will decrease the supply of a good. If I had one McDonald's and now I have no McDonald's, that decreases the goods. So producer expectations. If producers expect they can sell a good for a higher price in the near future, supply will increase now because I think I can make more money. If producers expect they can sell a good for a lower price in the near future, supply will decrease now, right? Because I know I'm going to lose money. So this is like around holiday shopping or seasonal shopping. Government. How is government involved? Through regulations or taxes. So an increase in government regulations, meaning rules from the government, or taxes on businesses decreases supply. So the more money or the more difficult the government makes it for a business to do its job, that will decrease supply. Decrease in government regulations or taxes on businesses will increase supply. They get to keep more of their money, or there are less rules revolving their industry. Government subsidies. Okay, so a subsidy is money given by the government to a business to help them out for some reason. It's a loan that you don't have to pay back. So if you have an increase in government subsidies for businesses, that increases the supply. Similarly, if you have a decrease in government subsidies for businesses, that decreases the supply. Price of related goods. If businesses can sell other goods and services for a higher price, they will shift production away from their product to the goods and services they can sell at a higher price. So the supply for the original good decreases. Supply for the new good increases. So used to have, right? Anybody know what that is? Yeah? Starts with a V. VCR. Very good. And now we've replaced it with the Blu-ray player. But the funny thing is now we've replaced that with a million different things. Weather or natural disasters. Obviously, they will decrease supply, right? If you have a forest and then the forest burns down, you have less of a forest. Okay, I'm sure there's a better example than that. Good weather could increase supply of agricultural products. Oh, that makes sense. Moving on to the elasticity of supply. There's that bouncy ball back again. So again, elasticity means how responsive something is. So of supply, be how responsive the change in quantity supply is when there is a change in price. Significant change in quantity supplied with change in price. When elasticity is greater than 1, you have price up, quantity supplied up, price down, quantity supplied down. And now we have elastic supply graphed out. So if you look, our supply curve looks a lot flatter. It's sleepy. All right, our equation, elasticity of supply is percent change in quantity supplied divided by change in price. Some examples. Products, these are elastic examples, products that can be made quickly, cheaply, with ready available resources. Have you ever wondered how after somebody wins the World Series or the Super Bowl, how they automatically have that hat on? Well, it's because it was already made beforehand. So where do all of those extras go? They can sit overseas somewhere. So we have inelastic supply, and that means a minimal change in quantity supplied with change in price. So that's when elasticity is less than 1. Price up, supply goes up. Price down, supply goes down. So what does our graph look like? Well, if you remember, you got to focus on that I, the beginning of inelastic. It looks like an I. It's almost up and down. Inelastic examples. Production of these goods and services take a lot of time, money, and resources not readily available. So you have art, diamonds. Next, we have perfectly inelastic supply. Well, what does that mean? No change in quantity supplied with a change in the price. Quantity supplied cannot be increased. Wait a minute, Amy, can't we always get more of something? No, we can't. What about this example? There's only a certain number of seats in a stadium. We can't just artificially increase the amount of supply. The supply is fixed. That's what it looks like. Quantity supplied will never change in this instance. Then we have unitary elastic. Percent change in quantity supplied is going to equal the change in price. Elasticity equals 1. Well, that was the quick and easy rundown of supply. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe here. No, you really shouldn't.